Disclaimer: I dislike the AR platform and the 5.56mm. I think the combination of both are the pentacle of dumb. I believe that the combination of a less effective bullet in an overly complicated rifle, in the home defense or self-defense arena is worthless, with the world of other options that are available. Furthermore, I'm an asshole and opinionated. Picture it, a simpler time. The 21st Amendment to the Constitution repealed the prohibition of intoxicating liquors about 20 years before, and the United States of America emerged as a two-time World War champion. Queen's "We Are the Champions" will not be written for another 20 years, but the US of A is the champion of the world. But a new problem is forming: a Cold War. Fear of things that are hard to understand, of new doctrine. The 14 pounds, ashtray-sized bullet-shooting typewriter and the mild recoil automatic bar were very effective. However, new ideas from enemy seemed grossly effective. Smaller cartridges were being put to good effect. To be curt, Kerr's was good. 9mm was working for the enemy, and the guns that fired them held more rounds for less weight than, say, a Thompson. The Kerr's 9mm reduced recoil further and increased the gun's ability to keep rounds on target. The Storm rifle introduced a bunch of new concepts, such as intermediate cartridges. You know, it's not quite a rifle round and not quite a pistol round, it's something between them, and its carbine-like form factor. This was scary stuff. There was a Storm rifle gap. We needed Storm rifles of our own. We must not allow a Storm rifle gap to exist. We must protect our phony baloney job, gentlemen. We must do something immediately. Harumph. Now enter the excess of government. In 1952, some generals got the idea that investigation of the high-velocity, small-caliber, HVSC, principle be given a high priority, and that a lightweight rifle utilizing the high-velocity, small-caliber principle be developed. For military doctrine, the HVSC seems to be well suited. It's a smaller, lighter round that lets soldiers on extended duration missions with limited option for resupply to carry more ammo without extra weight. If you have to carry all of your ammo on you, for extended periods of time, who wouldn't want to carry more pew without more weight? Consider a 5.56 by 45 weighs in at a diminutive 1/3 of the weight of a 30-06. Now, for around your home, you have resupply. There's no need to capitalize on the cartridge per pound advantage you would need on a deployment. Car guys have a saying: there's no replacement for displacement. In terminal ballistics, it's pretty close to the same. Big holes beat small holes. A sledgehammer drives home points better than a jeweler's hammer. History is written by winners, and Eugene Stoner was a winner. The history, as I understand it, also had Stoner getting clued into Ordnance Department's conjoining of the new lightweight rifle program with the HVSC program, something John Peterson didn't learn about until too late to be entered into trials. But that could be another rant for another time. Getting back to the Stoner action. It's complicated. It's sensitive. It's messy. Gases from the cartridge travel down a tube back toward the user, into a tiny space between the bolt and bolt carrier. These expanding gases are hopefully contained in a small area and used to push the bolt carrier away from the bolt, which also rotates the bolt. Eventually, hopefully, after the gas pressure in the tube and chamber are safe, recoil drives the bolt and bolt carrier to the rear to begin the order of operations of autoloading rifles. It's not all hate. There are some elegant solutions to reduce the overcomplication in the bolt carrier group. The ergonomics are good. Safety and trigger are in comfortable places. But yeah, there's a lot more hate. With the lightweight back end, it moves the balance point forward, so you need lighter handguards and barrels. Some of this weight was solved by none other than Barbie and Ken's manufacturer Mattel. These days, you have a lot of variety in stocks and grips, which make it more like a Barbie doll because you got to buy all of her accessories and dress up your rifle for an imagined form of combat. Even then, you still end up with a carbine in caliber that's not rifle power and not pistol caliber. Maybe I'm just a FUD or an old soul, but a 2-lug bolt such as the Garand Action provides just as much surface area for lockup, with fewer teeth, and it's easier to lap perpendicular to the bore. But, it would seem after the M1 Garand, the M1 Carbine and M14, the Ordnance Department was over it and ready to move on to something no one at the time wanted. Now, due to the recent feelings about Germany, it's easy to see why the Ordnance Department would completely ignore a new action in development by Heckler & Koch. The roller delayed blowback is unusual. It would seem unlikely to be accurate, but there is the PSG precision rifle that would argue how accurate the action can be. We can appropriate the intermediate cartridge, but a new action type is a bridge too far for the time. After all, the Germans at the time were only known for their rocket scientist and fascism. Fast forward to the 21st century. The AR platform is available in all sorts of different flavors. There are some that might reliably cycle or won't ever be press checked, that forego the forward assist. There are flavors that try to get around the nasty gases being directed and loosely contained near the shooter's face with a piston system. There are even flavors that make use of more competent cartridges, some that use what is effectively an American remake of a classic Soviet cartridge. Don't hate me, the only AR I've given any time to was chambered in .300/221, which was an early version of the 300 Blackout, which might as well be called the inch version of the 7.62x39. In short, the AR-15 pattern rifle was a space race gun, with furniture originally made by a company used to making ray guns for kids, intended to fill a battlefield role, made by the lowest bidder, introduced to a generally poor reception, by people who wanted something new and only proven by our enemies. It's now a symbol because the military uses it, it looks tactical, it has all the accessories, and no one thinks about all the other designs that lost due to government procurement procedures.